Welcome to the beloved community at River of Grass Unitarian Universalist Congregation, where today we celebrate with a music service presented by our house band, the Rogues. That's Rogues is spelled R-O-G-U-U's. That's River of Grass Unitarian Universalists. We're so creative. Today we celebrate all of the ways that we find to gather our beloved community in body and spirit as we go and grow and flow the river way. I'm Theo, my pronouns are he, him, and today I'm serving this congregation as one of your wonderful singers and sort of a service assistant host. I don't know, something.
In this congregation, it is our mission to nurture our spirits, to love intentionally, and to create a just and healthy planet. In our enduring search for truth, meaning, and faith. Today we will focus on how music can help us accomplish all of those things lovingly, and we'll be using songs we have sung over the past year. However you made your way among us this morning, we welcome you. Let us pause together to enter into this time together as we connect again with one another, with the holy by any name, and the light of love within us all as we breathe into our time together.
Music is one of the most powerful things the world has to offer. No matter what race or religion or nationality or sexual orientation or gender that you are, it has the power to unite us. Music happens to be an art form that transcends language.
At the root of all power and motion, there is music and rhythm, the play of patterned frequencies against the matrix of time. We know that every particle in the physical universe takes its characteristics from the pitch and pattern and overtones of its particular frequencies. It's singing. Before we make music, music makes us. If you get too worried, what you ought to do is sing. If you get worried, what you ought to do is sing. If you get worried, what you ought to do is sing. Sing about your trouble and it just might pass. And if you get lost, what you ought to do is sing. If you get lost, what you ought to do is sing. If you get lost, what you ought to do is sing. Sing about your trouble and it just might pass. Sing about your trouble and it just might pass. Sing about joy. Sing about love and hoping it lasts. Sing about your trouble and it just might pass. Yeah, just might pass. And if you get broken, what you ought to do is sing. If you get broken, what you ought to do is sing. If you get broken, what you ought to do is sing. Sing about your trouble and just might pass. Sing about your trouble and it just might pass. joy. Sing about love and hoping it lasts. Sing about your trouble, and it just might pass. Oh, it just might pass. Ooh, and it just might pass. Just might, pass. And well, it just might pass.
Our call to worship this morning is from Languages of Gratitude by the Reverend Michelle Collins. We arrive carrying the familiar ache of not enough time, not enough rest, not enough love, not enough certainty about what comes next. But here, in the space between one breath and another, something small and persistent whispers, "You are held." We come from days that felt too ordinary to notice, commutes and meetings, dishes and deadlines, the unremarkable hours that make up most of living. But buried in the mundane lie small miracles we walk past without seeing. Some of us learn to count blessings on our fingers, others to whisper thanks to ancestors or earth or sky. We carry different languages of gratitude, different ways of recognizing what sustains us. All of them are welcome here. Please rise, embody your spirit, and join us in singing together.
Y'all ready? All right, here we go. Doom, 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 da doom, 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 doom, doom. Here's all of our parts. Ready? Love is the water that wears down the rock. Everyone, love is the water that won't be stopped. Love is the water that won't be stopped. I said, love is the water that wears down the rock. One more time. Love is the water that wears down the rock. Love is the water that wears down the rock. Love is the power that won't be stopped. I said, love is the water that wears down the rock. Do 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 do. You say your heart's been turned to stone. You say you wanna just be left alone. You say love only made you weep and moan. Well, let me tell you something you know in your bones. Love is the water that wears down the rock. Love is the water that wears down the rock. Love is the power that won't be stopped. I said love is the water that wears down the rock. You say your soul's like a dry riverbed. Stopped waiting for the water long ago, you said. Well, you better pray all night for the rain instead. Love comes like a tidal wave over your head. I said love is the power that won't. Love is the power that won't be stopped. I said love is the water that wears down the rock. say waiting for love, it takes too long. It dulls a sharp mind and weakens the strong. Well, you may be right, but you may be wrong. 'Cause love can make a mountain come tumbling down. 'Cause love is the water that wears down the rock. Love is the water that wears down the rock. Love is the power that won't be stopped. I said love is the water that wears down the rock. The river washes over every woman and man. Feet in the gravel and mud in your hands. Nothing can stand against love's command. Every boulder turns into a grain of sand. Because love is the water that wears down the rock. Love is the water that wears down the rock. Love is the power that won't be stopped. I said love is the water that wears down the rock. Love is the water that wears down the rock. Love is the water that wears down the rock. Love is the power that won't be stopped. I said, love is the water that wears down the rock.
One more time.
Oh, I can feel it. Can you feel it? The flaming chalice is the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist tradition. A beacon of religious liberty shining through generations, now ours to hold high. As we light our chalice together this morning, let us join our voices. Maybe not. We rekindle this flame on behalf of those who feel abandoned and betrayed and cry for freedom, for the oppressed, for all of the children who ask, why can we not live in peace? By lighting this chalice today, help us to rekindle compassion and mercy within the deep crevices of our hearts, so that we can once again bring justice, hope, and love to a world struggling to find its humanity, struggling to find its soul. In the light of love, let us renew our covenant as we say together, love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is its law. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. El amor es el espíritu de esta congregación y el servicio su ley principal. Esta es nuestra gran promesa, vivir juntos en paz, buscar la verdad a través del amor y ayudarnos mutuamente.
As a response to that, we had a lot of talk about how many lyrics do we put on the screen? How much do we want our congregation to listen to songs? Today we have no screen, so the listening part is really going to be big.
That's the fun part anyways.
However, if we could have some people hand out the hymnals, both the gray and the teal, the gray and the teal, that would be great. This song, The Fire of Commitment, is hymn number 1028.
Some of them may be in the seat in front of you. Some
In
of the
the
seats have a little
teal
tray.
hymnal.
Some of them,
Teal
hell
hymnal
yeah.
1028.
This is how people used to do things in the old-fashioned
This is a
days.
congregation of action. Hymn number 1028, 1028.
I don't think I can actually read that. I'm not helping at all.
1028, The Fire of
Oh,
Commitment.
the blue one.
In the teal, yes.
The blue one. The blue one. Not the gray one. The blue one. The blue one. The blue one. uniting hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. And 28, let's begin. From the stories of our living brings a song of brave and free, calling pilgrims still to witness to the life of liberty. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion need to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, when our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the dreams of youthful visions comes a new prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built by our courageous choice. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion need to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin.
We sustain and strengthen this beloved community and its work in our world through the gifts of our time, our skills, our amazing skills, our love, and our money. Each Sunday, 50% of our undesignated offerings go to LifeNet for Families, which provides meals, clothing, and support for those in need right here in Broward County. The remainder supports our mission and ministry at the River of Grass. Ushers, please come forward to receive the offering.
All right, deepening round 2. Music offers a record of human history and human experience that words and images cannot. Music has a unique ability to convey memory. Both song texts and tunes can remind us of people, places, and events, accessing an ancient hard drive of historical memory. Marian Jacobson. Our second deepening message is from the song Holy Now by Peter Mayer.
If you could see the miracle in a single flower, your whole life would be changed. Thich Nhat Hanh. When I was a boy each week, on Sundays we would go to church and pay attention to the priest, and he would read the holy word and consecrate the holy bread, and everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. And we would go to Sunday school. We would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two, and Jesus made the water wine. I remember feeling sad that miracles don't happen still, but now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small, but an even greater magic trick is that anything is here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. When holy water was rare at best, it barely wet my fingertips, but now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of it. It used to be a world half there, heaven's second rate hand-me-down, but now I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Questioning child's face and say that's not a testament. That'd be very hard to say. See another new morning come and say that's not a sacrament. I tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood and saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush, singing like a scripture verse. It made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then, 'cause everything is holy now. It used to be a world half there, heaven's second rate hand-me-down. Now I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause 'cause everything is holy now.
In the quiet of this hour, if there's something on your own heart that you wish to mark without words this morning, you're invited to come forward and drop a stone of reflection in the water as we hold one another in sacred community. For as William James once wrote, we are like islands in the sea, separate on the surface, but connected in the deep. Let us share a moment of reflection, connecting us to all who are in need.
I was going to write something about how this next song fits into the service, but I found a John Lennon quote that was so perfect. It just said, "Strawberry Fields is any place you want to be."
as we hear these spoken moments of our lives and feel our unspoken messages, may our hearts break open and stretch out to join with the hearts of others who yearn for a freer, more loving world. Each heart a building block of a better society, each life lived a prayer for a nobler, more just world. We lift these things, spoken and unspoken, written and unwritten, asking our hearts to be seen, even as we become seers of hearts, that we may see one another and those beyond our walls with love and thankfulness today and every day. Amen. Blessed be.
The song is the message.
Imagine there's no heaven. It is easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, and the world will live as one.
A dozen song albums, and the popular hymn, Let It Be a Dance. Stay tuned. A promising artist, Rev Maston studied briefly with Millard Sheets and Millard Zorn at Pomona College. And Leger at the École des Beaux-Arts in Paris in 1949. He also wrote and produced musical comedies in Carmel and became a contract writer for Warner Brothers, ultimately having 78 of his songs recorded in the 1950s and early 1960s. He began his ministry in 1968, offering guest services in California churches, with the backing of Rev. Howard and Rosemary Matson, culminating in an impressive performance at the Unitarian Universalist Association's General Assembly in Cleveland. The UUA then awarded Maston a Frank Billings lectureship with the express aim of taking the spirit of liberal religion to college campuses and churches around the country. Many of his poems explored how race, religion, women's liberation, alcohol abuse, aging, and other social issues impact the most intimate personal relationships. Rev. Masson was ordained in 1972 at the Unitarian Universalist Church in Arlington, Virginia, as part of an effort of the Ministerial Fellowship Committee to address the need for non-parish ministers engaged in social action. The first of these so-called specialized ministers was Howard Matson, who began working full-time with Cesar Chavez and the United Farm Workers in 1969. The category of specialized ministers was terminated in 1974, but Reverend Masson continued and received his final fellowship in 1975. Over the years, Rev. Masson, usually accompanied by his wife, Billy Barbara Maston, toured the country in their Toyota camper. The Homesick Snail is what they named it, giving concerts and staying at the homes of the ministers and parishioners they befriended along the way. Reverend Maston thus earned the distinction of preaching in more Unitarian Universalist churches, over 500 in 49 states, than any other minister in history. Largely ignored by literary critics throughout his career, Reverend Masson received numerous honors toward the end of his life. He was named Troubadour and People's Poet of Carmel in 2003, Poet Laureate of Prostate Cancer, didn't know that was a thing, by the National Prostate Cancer Coalition in 2005, Honorary Doctor of Humane Letters by California State University, Monterey Bay in 2007, and Champion, well, that's not going to work. Of the Arts, luminary by the Arts Council of Monterey County in 2008. And he quoted, "All you have to do is catch a fatal disease and the awards just fall out of the trees like apples." This is our heritage. Our hope this morning is our own Rev. Nick Sanchez, who will be joining us in August. Reverend Nick earned his Master's of Divinity from the Iliff School of Theology and holds dual bachelor degrees in philosophy and religious studies from Penn State University. He previously served as the Belden Ministerial Intern, and I'm going to pause here to let you know how significant that is for us. The Belden Ministerial Intern program was led before he retired by our very first minister, the Reverend Kenneth Belden. So yeah, we're coming full circle and beyond. This was at the Wellsprings congregation in Chester Springs, Pennsylvania. A jack of all trades with a varied professional background, Rev. Sanchez's life has been defined by spiritual leadership and resilience. Raised in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, Rev. Nick graduated at the top of his high school class and overcame difficult personal circumstances, including a spinal cord injury, which left him with a lifelong disability. You would never know it unless it was written somewhere. I'm sure he does, though. Before pursuing full-time ministry, he worked as an EMT, dear to my heart, a hospice volunteer at Trustbridge, and a small business owner. He first served as a lay leader and worship team head at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Boca Raton. He later joined the Wellsprings congregation in 2023, where he focused on Sunday sermons, small group facilitation, and one-on-one spiritual care. Reverend Nick will be joining us in August as our full-time minister. He and his wife Katie and their daughter will be joining him in their new home in South Florida as they balance his faith journey and family life with a deep curiosity for learning and developing diverse skills. This curiosity will serve him and us well as we enter together this new chapter of our collective journey. This is our hope.
Hey y'all, I got the sermon today. Pardon me, I'm pulling it up on my phone. I wrote this while I was on the way to my baby sister's wedding. Okay, so the title of this sermon is Music is What Love Sounds Like. Because, first of all, love is at the center of all of our values, and sometimes we just need a reminder that there's joy and beauty in the world. And that's going to fill us with a lot of love. And one of the ways that I like to be reminded of that is music. I think that the joy of creating things keeps us grounded in reality, it keeps us present in our communities, and it keeps us together, it holds us together. So first off, I wanted to say that music reminds me a lot of our values of interdependence and pluralism, because it is usually a group effort, as evidenced today. This was a great example of teamwork. Each additional individual is going to add a new depth and perspective to whatever your music you're making. You can have multiple singers, and even if they're singing the same thing, it still adds a ton of depth. Just two different voices doing the same thing is amazing. But yeah, coming together to create something that's really beautiful is just an amazing way to build community. I also think that music reminds me a lot of our values of transformation and generosity. One of the most beautiful parts of music is that it's temporary. You can record it, but there's something special about listening to it live and in person because it creates a moment, a space, and we can all enter into a sort of shared consciousness together. And that's a really important part of being in community together, is the shared consciousness. And then when the last note is done ringing, it ends, and we leave that moment of shared consciousness, and then we have to go back out into the world again. And I think it really challenges us to be present in the here and now together. And I don't think that art is any less beautiful when it's temporary. Arguably, that makes it more beautiful, because it challenges you to keep making it, to keep building on it, to keep going and exploring and growing. I also think that music reminds me a lot of our values of equity and justice, because it's been a constant part of the human experience as long as we have recorded memory. Every culture, every era, every location, every different way that humans have divided ourselves up, we all have music. We use it to express who we are right here, right now. We use it to tell the stories of our past and to record our histories, and we use music to share our dreams for the future and who we want to become. And that's universal. That's just part of being human. And so it unites us all in that way. It eliminates the man-made barriers that we put between ourselves, and it's a tool that we can use to connect and to do justice work. So last but not least, I just wanted to say that music creates bonds of hope and joy and love. It connects us all on a deeper level. It's a great manifestation of our values. It's my way of showing my love of you all to the world, and my way of showing my love of the world to all of you. I love you all.
There is a song reaching the whole earth, written from patience, love, and prayer. Neither violent nor assertive, it is peace begetting peace, love made manifest. Listen to it with the ear of your heart. Let it go deep within. Open to the sound, to the holy words, to the life of which it sings.
what a gift, what a gift. The world is a miracle I want to fall back in love with. This is a prayer, if you're there, if you're there. Could I find more of this? The waves carry me in, salt water on my skin. I'm coming home. Close my eyes while you drive. Sometimes it's just time to go. Look at all this, what a gift, what a gift. The world is a miracle I want to fall back in love with. This is a prayer, if you're there, if you're there. Could I find more of this? It's the road, it's the sky, it's that look in your eye. It's the touch, it's the kiss, it's the pocket of lips. It's the scrape on your knee, it's the knock on the door. It's the no, it's the yes, it's that kid in the store. It's the road, it's the sky, it's that look in your eye. It's the touch, it's the kiss, it's a pocket of lips. It's the scrape on your knee, it's the knock on the door. It's the no, it's the yes, it's that kid in the store. It's the road, it's the sky, it's that look in your eye. It's the touch, it's the kiss, it's a pocket of lips. It's the scrape on your knee, it's the knock on the door. It's the no, it's the yes, it's that kid in the store. It's the road, it's the sky, it's that look in your eye. It's the touch, it's the kiss, it's that pocket of lips. It's the scrape on your knee, it's the knock on the door. It's the no, it's the yes, it's that kid in the store. Look at all this, what a gift, what a gift. The world is a miracle I want to fall back in love with. This is a prayer, if you're there, if you're there. Could I find more of this? Look at all this, what a gift, what a gift. The world is a miracle I want to fall back in love with. This is a prayer, if you're there, if you're there. Could I find more of this?
Our faith is like a light. It illuminates the path before us so we can face hurt with love, cultivate compassion, live humbly in community, and confront despair with the awe of life as we find justice. Though our flame is extinguished, our faith shines bright before us. we extinguish this flame, but not the light of love, not the warmth of community or the fire of transformation. These we carry in our hearts until we're together again. Please rise in body and spirit and join us in singing together.
We're going to sing out of the Teal hymnal, Blue Boat Home. I know it's a favorite for all of us. If you need the words, it's on page 1064, 1064, Blue Boat Home.
Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ride the stormy sea, leaning o'er the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep. When you feel my ships to paddles, on the wind and pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens, and I give thanks to the waves upholding us, hail the great winds urging me on. Greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. My universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my
Each week we have some announcements about all the ways you can share your UU faith and values with each other and with this world. The River of Grass is looking for a nursery caregiver to watch the little tykes while their parents are attending service. So if you're good with little ones and could use some extra cash, reach out to personnel@riverofgrassuu.org. In July, we will experience 4 spiritually satisfying worship services. On July 5th, Robert Smith will reflect on what meet the moment means. A week later, his wife, the Reverend Susan Smith, will talk about how we can meet the moment with change. And on July 19th, Dr. Jeffrey Nall will be back with Daring to Dream in a Fatalistic Society. Finally, on the last Sunday of the month, Liana, Robert, and Theo will share their experiences from GA this year. Perhaps they learned how to change the world.
That's the Unitarian Universalist Association's General Assembly, for those of you new to us.
SUSE is coming, and that is a acronym for
Southeast Unitarian Universalist Summer Institute.
It's summer camp. It's coming in 3 weeks. The experience of almost 1,000 UUs gathered together for a week is phenomenal. The river usually has a big contingent there. See Gary for details. He and Karen have been going for many years. To register, go to Solace, S-O-L-I-S, SUSE.org.
Solace.susi.org.
How many of you have been to the mountain? It is a fantastic retreat center on top of a mountain in the forest where you can experience what summer camp truly is. The mountain also is a deeply spiritual location for conferences. UU women will gather at the end of September to share their spirit journeys. For information, go to www.themountainrlc.org. In these changing times, let us be all the more vigilant to hold before us the vision of our world transformed with love everywhere, and dare to transform ourselves to make it so. Until we meet again, shine on.
Last verse. Last verse.
I give thanks